And we will begin. Hello, hello, and welcome, Travel Week community. Thanks so much for joining us today. We have an amazing show planned. We have got Rino Falvo here from Exodus Adventure Travels. He is going to deliver a fabulous presentation. I am so excited to hear more from him today. Before we get started, just a few notes of housekeeping. Number one, we have an awesome prize attached to today's webinar. It is a $500 travel voucher for Exodus Adventure Travels. Woohoo, amazing. So all you have to do to be eligible for today's prize is to stay through to the very end of the webinar. And once you've done that, your name will automatically be entered into the draw to be chosen as our winner. You'll learn who the winner is in our follow-up email to this presentation. So keep your eye out for the follow-up where the prize winner will be announced. And secondly, questions for today, as always, they go into the question and answer box at the bottom of your screen. Sometimes we get questions in the chat, and I just want to remind you, if you can, if you remember, put them in the Q&A box, because that way they definitely won't get missed. Sometimes in the chat they can get missed that way, but the chat is open too. So if you want to say hi, if you want to have any comments about Exodus Adventure Travels, where you sent your clients, or a trip that you've gone on yourself, please feel free to share that in the chat as well. I will be back on at the very end of today's presentation, and I will ask any questions that you have on your behalf. So please don't be shy. Use this time to ask Rino anything that you'd like about Exodus Adventure Travels and booking their tours for your clients. And so without further ado, I am excited to pass the floor over to Rino right now. Rino, thank you so much for being here. We can't wait to hear more from you, and I will see you again at the end of the show. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Candice. Thank you. Nice to meet everybody. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are around the world. As Candice mentioned, my name is Rino Falvo. I'm a BDM for Exodus Adventure Travels. I take care of Western Canada and Western USA, and I've been in the industry now for almost 20 years. I've worked from being a tour guide. I was a travel agent just like you guys. I was a team leader. I even trained agents. So I've been doing this for a long time, and then I've been working in the supplier world for about 8-9 years. And I just love our industry, and I'm just so excited to be talking to you guys about Exodus Adventure Travels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and then we will get started. So give me a moment, and then we'll be all ready. Perfect. Okay. And you guys will see my screen shortly. Awesome, great. So we're going to dive straight into on Exodus Adventure Travels, but to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm going to be covering. This is kind of give you guys a high level on who is Exodus, where do we fit in the market? Because I know as an agent, there's many amazing suppliers out there, and working in this industry, it's great when you have so many suppliers, but sometimes it gets overwhelming in terms of deciding, okay, where does everyone fit in? And so my goal is to show you kind of what Exodus is all about, but also, is it the right fit for your clients? Where does it fit in the market and whatnot? So that's my big goal. And as Candice mentioned in the QA section, ask any questions. We'll save them for the end, and I'll do my best to try to answer. And also, like she said, we are giving away a $500 travel voucher and you'll be into a draw for this. So make sure you stick around to the end, and let's get started. So Exodus Adventure Travels is a small group active adventure travel company. And one of the big things that we've been throwing out and telling everybody around the world is we're excited because this year we're celebrating our 50th birthday. We had our first trip in 1974 to Nepal, and over the course of these 50 years, we now travel to over 100 countries, and we have over 600 different itineraries. Now, where we started going into Nepal, we started in this active adventure side. And so over the years, we became experts in active adventure, and then we started expanding into more of a cultural experience and balance. And it's quite interesting to see out of these 600 itineraries of where we fit. Now, before we start diving into all this fun stuff, I want to introduce you to our amazing team. So we've got Wendy, who takes care of Eastern and Atlantic Canada and also Eastern USA. We have wonderful Krista, who's joined us. She's taking care of Manitoba and Ontario, Canada. You've got yours truly. And we have the glue of our team. I always give her massive credit, is Cassandra. She's basically works in the support side of things with the industry. And like I said, she's the glue of our team. And she takes care of our team so much. There are different ways that you can book. You can contact through agents at exodustravels.com, but I do encourage you to contact our reservation line. They are reservation teams based out of Canada and USA, and they love working with agents. So I encourage you, give them a call. We do have an agent portal where you can put bookings on hold, but at this time, as of today, you're not able to apply payments. So that's why I always encourage people call in. It's probably the best way to do it. So, where we fit in. So as I mentioned, we are a small group active adventure travel company. And so oftentimes there's like stigmas in our industry. When you hear the words adventure or you hear the words active, people get scared and people think, oh, this is not for me. And really, like when it comes to adventure, it depends on your perspective on what it is. You know, you can say, oh, I'm going to Everest Base Camp. That's an adventure. Or you can be going to a cultural experience to Morocco. That could be adventure. To me, honestly, adventure is all about getting out of our comfort zone of home and experiencing new cultures around the world. So the first piece of us being a small group is that our maximum group size is 16. So average about 12 people, maximum group size. So in our market, we have we have other competitors that fit this small group experience. And what is great about it, and I, like being a former agent, I used to book a lot of small group adventure tours because I was so passionate, because I know that clients are, when they're going on these trips, they're going to have more of an intimate experience. It's all about them staying in locally owned and operated accommodations, having a local guide, having that opportunity to get off the beaten path and experience something a bit different. And that's something why it's so important for us to make sure we have these smaller groups. And when in terms of the active side, because we're experts in hiking and cycling trips, you need to keep these group sizes small and intimate to have that more bonding experience. Now, one of the things we're really excited about this year is that we become B Corp certified. So what that means, there's a few great suppliers out there that are have the same accreditation. Basically, it's for purpose for profitable businesses who are like saying, listen, we're a sustainable, responsible business. We do actually, have people welfare for our staff. We want to make sure the money that we're spending staying within the country. We'll want to make sure wildlife welfare is important and high things. And then to get this accreditation takes 2 to 3 years. And then you have to get it every year to 2 years and revalidate it. And you have to share all your information. Because to be honest, in my opinion, the word sustainable, responsible travel is such a buzzword. It's kind of like, when organic with fruits and vegetables came out, it's become more of a marketing piece. Well, for us, this is just our way to saying, hey, listen, we have third-party accreditation saying, yes, we're a B Corp certified company. Focus on that. Great. So some facts. I love numbers. I find facts are interesting. So 50% of our travelers are solo travelers. And that's our first stigma that a lot of people will think, is that they're like, look, you have to go with a friend. You have to go with your companion. And then, to be honest, like I said, half of our travelers are solo travelers. They're like, look, I want to explore the world in my way of comfort, my way of wanting to experience and whatnot. So what we do is solo travelers, we'll pair them with another solo traveler of the same sex, or if they're the lucky person and they're the odd number out, they'll get their own room, or they can upgrade to a single supplement, which is available. There's limited space for single supplement, but it is an option for clients when they're traveling. Now, this is where we start kind of getting ourselves a little bit different from our market. So, how I said, we're a small group adventure travel company. So, similar to other operators, maximum group size 16. We're all about adventure and culture and activeness. Well, the first big thing that starts to change is our average age. So our average age is 59. So we cater to a market that's aimed around that 40 to 80 age demographic. And that's why we have this average age of 59. $149. And a lot of times people, next stigma they put out there, they're like, whoa, wait. So you're an adventure active cycling hiking company. You do these crazy trips on Coast, Mont Blanc, cycle the Dalmatian coast along Croatia, like, and you have your average age is high. And it's like, to be honest, one of the things is when I joined Exodus is that I've never met so many fit people in their 70s. They make 20-year-olds look like couch potatoes. I have never seen this. And it's amazing to like break that stigma that in order to do active adventure, you have to be 20 or 30 years old. Actually, no, that's the thing. Our market is this, 40 to 80 age, because there are people who are empty nesters, people who are retired, who are like, no, they're in shape. They wanted these different experiences, and that's why it's fantastic. 60% of our travelers are female. And this is actually quite common in our industry. I mean, ladies love to travel, which is fantastic. But like many other operators, 60% are female. And we have 8 different styles. So I mentioned already some planted seeds, like we have hiking trips, we have cycling trips, but then we have more as well. Now, what makes and breaks a trip, and I think this goes with any operator out there, are leaders. And for us, we hire expert leaders. I would say the amount of pressure we put in terms of having the best guides out there is probably the most important, because we know that guides can make and break a trip. These are the most important players in all the companies out there, and it's no different for Exodus. So what we will do is, like, one of the big things is we're always looking at feedback, making sure, and when clients love our guides, we make sure we keep them. And so one of the things that we do that I really like is we have many guys that win international awards. So when you look under our departure dates, we'll actually list the winners of specific departures, like, oh, on December 1st, you're going to have Roberto, who is the 2023 International Guide of the Year Award. And so what we'll do is any guide that has won an award, we will actually have it listed on the departure date. And not only that, is that people who are going on our trips, they want that expertise. So for example, my passion outside of Exodus is I'm passionate for wildlife photography, and I love being around guides who are specialists. So for example, in Costa Rica, we'll actually have departures listed where we'll say, okay, we have a bird specialist guide on this specific departure, because we think that's important. So, and there's customers like myself that would be interested in experience a trip like that with them. Now, in our market, in Canada, USA, a big thing for us that's important for our client base are accommodation. So things that Exodus always focuses on, we focus on comfortable, clean, and authentic. Now, we all know star ratings are subjective. And that's why I say it right off the bat. When you talk about a 3-star in the US, Canada, and a 3-star in Europe, a 3-star in Asia, we all know that the range is very different. So you take everything with star ratings with a grain of salt. But at the end of the day, it's how we actually communicate with our clients. So where does Exodus fit in? So Exodus's goal is, on average, we aim for around that 3 to 4-star range, depending on where we're traveling around the world. Again, comfortable, clean, authentic. Now, I say we try to go to that aim is because there are sometimes we'll have accommodations that are better, and then there'll be some accommodations that'll be more simpler. So, for example, we have fantastic accommodations on our Vietnam trip. But one of the cultural experiences that we have in Vietnam on some of our itineraries is an overnight train in their first-class train from Hanoi to Hue. And so would I call that 3-star? Not really. I would probably give it a 2. It's super clean, super comfortable. It's got a bathroom and whatnot, but it's something that we try to kind of aim towards. Now, we do have what's called Premium Adventure Line, and our Premium Adventure Line is catering to North American clients who are saying, I want this experience, I love this experience, but I want more comfort. So what we do is we have it where the accommodations are 4-star and above. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. And this is just to kind of give you an idea of some of the premium adventure accommodations that we stay at. We stay at spas. We'll have lots of places with beautiful pools and such for our premium adventure line. So we will have different products that cater to different needs and wants. One of the things that I love about Exodus and as a whole is that they love to be transparent. which I love. I love being transparent. So on our trip notes, we will list all the accommodations that we're staying at on all our trips. We'll say what hotel we're staying at or the equivalent. That way, when you're talking to your clients, you can share with them and say, hey, listen, here's the trip notes. Here are the kind of accommodations that are listed. You know, whether you're doing a TripAdvisor look, whatever you're doing, you're Googling it, at least you can empower your clients to get an idea of what our accommodations are like. All right. So continue on. Remember how I was talking about we're an active company? Well, let me tell you, just to give you an idea, out of those 600 itineraries, 140 of them alone are just for cycling. Just for cycling. So we have a ton of itineraries, tons of itineraries for cycling, tons of itineraries for hiking, trekking, and walking. And I'll kind of explain that in a moment what that's like. So it's important for any agents out there who aren't too familiar, who aren't as comfortable. So it's like, well, which trip should I book for my clients? Again, we want to be transparent. So everything's about looking at the fitness levels that the grades that we give our trips. So for example, this is a really nice walking trip in Italy. It's called Tuscany Walks and Chianti Wines. So imagine you're walking and drinking on your trip. I know it's safe, don't worry. Drinking and walking, imagine you're exploring the Tuscan hills while you're walking, exploring, and drinking wine. So what we'll do is on all our trips, we'll have an activity level listed from 1 to 7. And so 1 to 7, what that means is that it's a combination of things of comfort level. It's what's the distance like? What are the paths? Are they more paved? Are they more gravel? There's a lot of different factors like, even humidity. Is it a super hot destination or is it cool? Is it comfortable? So it's important to always make sure manage your customers' expectations and make sure you find the right trip based on their active level and their comfort trip. Now, I will say I'm all about managing expectations. A big thing for us in North America, we think we're more fit than we actually are. And it's very true because in Europe, where our Exodus is based out of the UK, and in Europe, people, walk, they ride their bikes all the time. Whereas in North America, as a general, and I'm generally talking about North America, we drive everywhere. So we're not as fit as our European counterparts. So that's why it's important to manage expectations because a lot of our clients will be like, I can do a 4 and they've never done exercise in their life. Well, just make sure that you're always managing expectations based on activity level. Now, what I wanted to do is go through every single itinerary. Remember, I told you we have 600. We're going to go through all of them, okay? I'm kidding. No. I actually wanted to just show you a couple of our most popular itineraries to kind of plant some seeds and give you guys some ideas. So don't worry, we're not going through 600, just going through a couple. So our #1 itinerary in North America that sells year after year, it's always up at the top, is walking the Amalfi Coast. And there's a few reasons why. The first one is because it's 8 days. Canada, US clients love shorter duration trips because they like to combine it with other trips or they just have limited holidays from work. But that's why this is a perfect experience. 8 days. And the other reason why people love this trip is because on this specific itinerary, you stay in one accommodation for the duration of your trip. You unpack once, and every day you explore the different parts of the Amalfi Coast. Sometimes they're paved roads. Sometimes you're taking donkey trails, like the photo on the bottom right. That's an actual donkey trail that you'll take. And so what's neat is that have that more of a slower pace, enjoy the Amalfi Coast while you can. You walk in the morning, do your experience. In the afternoon, you relax a little bit more. So it is a really neat, comfortable itinerary. In terms of cycling, a destination that's very popular for cycling is Croatia's Dalmatian coast. It's again, people love the length, the 8 days, but people like this trip because what it does is it follows along the coast and you're also taking ferries to different islands. And so it gives you a perspective of, hey, listen, you're experiencing a trip on 2 wheels, you're going to different parts, you're cycling, you're having that cultural experience, and just people really enjoy that kind of style of travel. Now, some things about cycling, like I said, we have 140 cycling trips alone. We provide the bikes, and just like our accommodations, we will list what the bike is in our trip notes or the equivalent, because I know there's a lot of cyclists out there that will ask this question. All your clients has to bring is a helmet. They just need to bring a helmet. If they want, they can bring their own pedals, their shoes if they want. They can bring a seat cover if they want for extra comfort. But the main thing that they need to bring is a helmet. Now, I know one of the big questions that I'm sure someone's going to ask is e-bikes. Well, The good news, I will tell you, e-bikes have exploded, especially in Europe. So majority of our trips in Europe, you are able to upgrade to an e-bike. And so there's different ranges. It could be anywhere from 200 euros to 400, 500 euros. Just call our reservations team. What they'll do is they will take a look and let you know what the cost is to upgrade to an e-bike. Because it's so popular, I encourage, if you have a client that wants to travel with an e-bike on their cycling trip and upgrade, do it at the make the reservation at the time of booking so they have one guaranteed when they arrive at destination. But it is a great opportunity. Asia hasn't quite isn't at the same level, but we do have some destinations. I think is in Sri Lanka, southern India. I think if I'm not mistaken, Vietnam. No, Japan has e-bikes available. But Europe, majority of our trips, we have them. Okay. And then other one I just wanted to mention that's very popular is the Mont Blanc highlights, especially for our market. So people who are wanting to go to the Swiss Alps, experience something a little bit different. But why do people love it? Again, 8 days, nice, perfect size trip to going to around Mont Blanc. Again, but then you know what? Like the Amalfi Coast, they have one accommodations. And what I love is why I love our product so much, and we're so competitive, is the accommodations we stay at, like the Chalet Chocolat and Chalupa. These areas here are just outside of Chamonix. Those two accommodations are more of like mountain size lodge kind of experiences, which is great. They're anywhere from about 20 minutes or so outside of Chamonix. And then we also have the Chalet Bedier, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, which is in Chamonix, but people love our accommodation. It's great because what happens is with our Mont Blanc trip, remember I was telling you with the Amalfi Coast, you go in the morning, enjoy the afternoons. This is the same thing. So you get up in the morning, have breakfast, go explore. And what's cool is about this trip is you get to experience it from the French side. Then you also at a point when you're on the French and Swiss side, and then you also go to a day when you're on the Italian side. And so you get a bit of a contrast of what the region's like. And if you want to know how beautiful Chamonix is, the photo on the bottom right is a beautiful mountain town, which I hope one day to experience this trip myself. Okay, awesome. Great. So those are just a couple I wanted to show you. Now, some of the things about private groups. So do we offer private groups? Yes, we do. We don't have any minimum age anymore, but I do tell agents, I'm very transparent, say, listen, when you look at our rates on our website, those are based on 16 passengers. So if you're looking at a trip with only 8 passengers, it's going to be a significant premium because of the number of travelers that are going. So I always tell agents, I'm like, look, aim for that 12 to 14 range. I find that's best. And so what we do is we sell you the private group at net, and then you decide what margins you would like to add. Now, in terms of TCs or FOC or free spots or whatnot, you just let us know how many you want, and we will build it into the net. And then you just decide what you want us to charge, and that's it. The question will come up often is, do we do any FITs or customized itineraries? Unfortunately, we don't. So the main reason why is because all our itineraries are well-oiled machines. We make modifications every year to make it as perfect as possible. And we're just like, look, we know our products are great. And basically the only thing we can offer is the majority of our products for our private groups, the itineraries that we have already. I mentioned you guys making a booking, super easy. I encourage you guys, if you've never talked to our sales team, encourage you call our reservation line. They're fantastic. Travel agent resources. We have lots of resources available from join our social media pages. We have our Exodus Agent Collective. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, I encourage you. We have over 3,600 agents on there, which is fantastic. We have lots of webinars and trainings. Our BDM team's great about this. I know a lot of people want this. This is a great platform for us to learn and whatnot. So the Facebook agent group is called Exodus Agent Collective. You can search us there, and then you can join there, and that's what we'll list, sales, FAMs, all the fun stuff on there. And of course, we know the most important in terms of is agent discounts. So what we have, it's called the Exodus Collective program. So basically what that means is when you make your first booking, you become what's called a Globetrotter. So you get this Globetrotter status. And to keep the status, you just need to make one booking every 18 months. Once you become a Globetrotter, you open up where you get a travel agent discount of up to 50% and your companion up to 30%. And then as you continue being an Exodus seller or rock star, once you've booked your 30th passenger, then you become a pioneer, and that bumps up to 70%. for yourself. Cool. And as mentioned, we are giving away a $500 travel voucher. We will let you guys know once we send out all the follow-ups who's the lucky winner. But for the people that stuck around all the way to the end, you guys will be going in for the draw. And that's about it. So, Candice, how does the Q&A look? Did anybody have any questions? Stuff like that?
Yes, we do have some questions here. And first off, thank you so much for that great presentation. There was so much great information in there, so many itineraries that I'm like, ooh, can I do that one? Can I do that one? Just like very, very exciting stuff on here. So thank you for sharing all that with our participants today.
No problem.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's get into the questions. I had a question from Catherine about triple occupancy. Is that something that Exodus Adventure Travels would ever consider or do you do it sometimes?
There's a one specific product where we do have triple occupancy. Unfortunately, it's not for our regular line, our travel line.
Okay. Yeah.
We have what's called out of those 8 different styles of travel, we do have a family program. Minimum age 9 to 16 is kind of like the range. Those family trips, we try to aim to stay in triple occupancy rooms as much as possible. But in terms of our regular line, unfortunately not. All of them are going to be double. Yeah, or the single if you get single supplement. Yeah.
Okay, great. Catherine was just adding to that question. She's saying, meaning if there are 3 single women, then you wouldn't put them in a triple.
No, unfortunately
Yes.
not in that case, unfortunately. Sorry, Catherine.
Okay, thanks for answering that and clearing that up for us. Okay, and then you did go over the like agent rates during your presentation. And then I think also we always have agents wondering about FAMs. Is that something that Exodus Adventure Travels ever does as well? You know from the travel agent background, yeah.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Yes, so we run about, I'd say on average, 2 to 3 FAMs a year. We pretty much we don't have any new ones coming up for the remainder of this year, but we generally will aim to have 2 to 3. And you know what, for these FAMs, these are great. We get lots of applicants that come on. It's not just necessarily about who's the top salesperson. They're like basically our team above. What they do is they look at investments, do agents sell adventure travel? Are there opportunities? Like there's different factors into it. But to answer the question, do we offer FAMs? Yes. And where do we announce it? We try to announce as much as we can. We do run like sometimes webinars in correlation with it. And we'll also release them, especially on our Facebook page. We'll always have announcements there too.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. And sort of going on to that question a little bit, what is some advice that you would give to travel agents who are just trying to break out in selling adventure travel? So they're not maybe getting on a FAM yet, and they're interested in starting to sell this category, but they haven't yet. What is some of the tips that you would offer them to help get started?
Well, I think the first thing is to kind of start is a product training. Like this is the first step. You're spending time, you're investing time to learning about a product, learning about a brand and a company. Then I start saying, look, if you want to go even deeper and you're kind of intimidated, you're like, okay, that's great. It's great, Reno. You did this high level presentation, but I still not too sure. I always encourage you, reach out to your BDM, your local BDM in your area, whether it's me, Wendy, or Krista, and we can have a one-on-one. And then that's what, as BDMs, there's nothing better than an agent reaching out to us saying, listen, I need help. Can you help me? Can we have a one-on-one? We love this stuff because we know how invested you are in your trying. Now, where are the great opportunities in terms of the market? The thing is about our specialty, because we are an active adventure travel company. We have lots of people that book from hiking clubs, cycling clubs, gyms. And so there are a lot of opportunities within your own community where you can actually branch out with clientele in that form. I can't tell you how many clubs will go on our trips, whether it's private or just one person going. And I find that's a very good community-based stepping stone to find that customer base is right there in your community. Yeah.
Absolutely. That is a great tip. Thank you
Yeah.
for offering that. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we just have a comment from Celine, and she was saying, what a beautiful and well done presentation. Lots and lots of exotic destinations. So yes,
Oh, thanks, Celine.
absolutely. Yes, it was a great presentation and so informative. And I love to always end off, Reno, if you have any Exodus adventure travels trips that you have personally been on that are like near and dear to your heart, or an amazing experience that you had somewhere that you love to share as like a little bit of insider information, we always love to hear that
Ooh.
here. Yeah,
Oh
I know
boy.
sometimes
Well,
it's hard to
it's
pick. It puts you on the spot.
I
But
know. Well, okay, I'll tell you based on experience, based on like because I was mentioning my passion outside of Exodus is wildlife photography. I
yes,
love nature,
awesome.
and so Exodus is perfect for this in our
Yes.
adventure market. So I will
Mm-hmm.
say there are two trips that are they were my bucket list trips pre-pandemic, right before the pandemic happened, was trekking with mountain gorillas in Rwanda and
Wow.
Uganda and
Yes,
also going
yes.
to Antarctica. And like I find, like both these trips are great, but if I had to pick between the two of them, to be honest, I would say the mountain gorillas.
Yeah,
For those that have
that
never been,
sounds,
it is a magical experience, whether you're a photographer or not, because mountain gorillas share 99% of our DNA. And like, I'm not
yes.
joking, when you're in the presence of a mountain gorilla in their environment, you look at them in the eyes and you see resemblance. Like, I mean, I've got hairy hands, but they have really hairy hands. And you look at it and you're just thinking, wow, you're like my cousin. Like with my photos that I've taken, is that you look at their hands and they're ours. And it gives you
Yes.
this kind of goosebump where, when we always talk that nature, we're all interconnected. Well,
Mhm.
this was a perfect example where I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm well, not talking, but photographing my long distance cousin. And, like this trip that Exodus does is like it's a gorillas chimpanzee trip. It's a Uganda trip
Wow.
specifically that goes to
Wow.
Bwindi National Park. And that
Yes.
experience there, the jungle, that I just say that one always gives me goosebumps. Yeah.
Wow, I'm getting goosebumps just hearing about it. I can
Yeah.
only imagine what that must feel like in real life. So wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Deb in the chat says gorilla trekking is so amazing. So I
It
can
it is
only
an
imagine.
amazing experience. And like
Yes,
if you don't have the opportunity to go to all the way to East Africa, it's far away and the trekking's different. Even like visiting if in case your local zoo has one. I know
yes,
for some
yes.
people that
Yeah.
at least if you had an opportunity to lay eyes on a mountain gorilla, it's wow. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Lita here says the zoo is really good too. And actually, when I was at San Diego Zoo, I saw the gorilla exhibit, and what you were describing about like looking at a gorilla like in the eyes, it's like you feel like you're looking at yourself a
Yeah.
little bit. So
It's
yes, I can
you
only imagine in the wild what that must feel like.
yeah, that one
Yeah.
I'd say still tops is
Yes,
seeing one in the wild.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And it looks like that is the end of our questions for today.
Great.
Oh, Catherine is just asking, could you put up the slide again, Reno, with the reps and all their contact information, just so
Ooh, I
a
definitely
couple,
could.
yeah, of our advisors that are here can jot that down again.
No problem. Hold on. Give me
Yeah,
one
thank you.
moment.
Yep, take your time.
Let me grab that for you guys.
Putting this down because
Bada
the sun is
bing.
bright.
Okay. And I will share my wonderful
Yeah, and while you're
screen.
doing that, Francois also says great presentation. Thank you.
Thanks,
Um,
Francois.
yes, yes, yes.
Let me
Okay,
grab
and we'll
this one
see
here.
what's
It'll come up in
there.
a
Yeah, we can also make a note to include this in the follow-up email as well, for
Yes.
those
So
of
what
you
I'm
that
gonna
are
in the follow-up
asking.
email, we'll give some resources and such and contact details that way you can reach out to your BDM.
Your
And
BDM, yeah, yeah, because I see it
I'm
has like the agents at exodustravel.com but not like their
not their email
everybody's
address, but
emails.
what
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
do is we can include all the contact details of like
Perfect.
pretty much for us, it's like for my email is reno.falvo@exodustravels.com. So first name dot
Great,
last
great.
name at exodustravels.com. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. And we can include that as well in the follow-up. So stay tuned for that if you're looking for that also. Again, Catherine says, thank you. Great Zoom. And I would definitely like to say on behalf of Travel Week, thank you to you and Rino, and also to Exodus Adventure Travels for being here today. And also a very big thank you to all our Travel Week community for being here on the presentation call with us today. It means a lot that you're here, and we love getting to share this info with you. So without further ado, I will just say thank you again one last time. Rino, do you have anything you'd like to say before we close out?
No, I just wanted to say thank you to the entire community for joining. I know your time is precious, so any opportunity to see you guys trying to invest time to learn. But like I said, if you guys want to learn more, go more in depth, if there's an area that you like, feel free to reach out to your BDM or if it's myself, and we'd love to chat. So thank you guys very much appreciate it. And thank you for having us, Candace.
Awesome. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Thanks to everyone. Have a great rest of your day and stay tuned for the follow-up where we will announce the prize winner and get all that follow-up information to you as well as a recording of today's presentation. So thanks again and take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.